Welcome back, folks. Seeking knowledge over vengeance. So, for about a week now, I've wanted to focus on the Ana Lema. It's a very significant symbol, oftentimes shown on the globe. Some globes have the Ana Lema of the sun and an Ana Lema of the moon. I was unable to find what they might call the lunar Ana Lema. That might be the name. It may have some other name, but it escaped me in my seeking. When I first saw this symbol, the very first thing that came to mind was the Virgin Mary. You'll notice it is, of course, the sacred number 8, but the Virgin Mary is often depicted with her hood and her robes, holding the Son of Man. This is the course that the sun takes through the year. And if you were to take a pane of glass and put it over I believe the noonday sky, and put a dot on every 12 o'clock noon for an entire year, it would trace out this 8, this shape, 365 times. So my first image that I caught out of this was the Virgin Mary. It was later, as I got into the details of what is mapped out here, that I saw this is the equator line here, indicating that if you were to cut off the equator line in the northern hemisphere, we get the ichthus. Our sun in the northern hemisphere, it expresses an ichthus, the Jesus fish, in the sky. Quite profound, the symbology of that. Also, if we were to markate this 0 degree latitude line, you get 188 days expressed above the equator, 177 days below. And just a couple quick gematriological symbols that correlate with that. 177, that could potentially express AT&T in septenary gematria. 177 ATT. Also, 188 is a very profound number. You'll see that used many, many times in many, many ways. I would point out that it is $1 plus $2 plus 5 plus 10 plus 20 plus 50 plus 100. All the denominations under 100 add up to 188. This would be the rod of Asclepius or Mercury's caduceus. It's one staff and 2 snakes wrapping up the staff. Very powerful symbols, all of these, and used prolifically in our culture right in front of our eyes, perpetually. So, this cross, X marks the spot, as we all know. This does serve as quite the map for consciousness, to say the least. April 15th would be as the sun progresses north. April 15th is on that X exactly. And we all know that's tax day, y'all. That's tax. T-A-X. T-A-X, tax day. And as it comes across here's the summer solstice where the soul stays. This is the day we just passed recently. And as it declines back down at the end of August, it crosses the X again on Vulcanalia, August 27th. That is the day that Pompeii was destroyed at the foot of Vesuvius. And that happened in 79 AD, according to the official mythology. And 79 is the atomic number for gold. And Vulcan is the god of metallurgy. So I believe that we are being led to believe by the mainstream narrative of history that the sword of fire that the divine metallurgist crafted for the Lord upon the exodus from the garden, that sword, the sword of fire, is used to write the story of his story, his to her e, and many, many aspects of the Bible are encoded in what we see here. Recently, James True did a presentation on this, and I was flabbergasted at the fact that he was thinking about the exact same symbol at the exact same time that I was planning to do my presentation. So James, if you're watching, I hope this complements your own work. I know you got more to bring to light there. So Vulcanalia. Vulcan, A-N-A-L-E, anally, which has the same letters as Ana Lema. Isn't that something? And it happens, the cross happens on August 27th. If anybody watched Vision and the Scarlet Witch, that show that they were doing, the opening scene takes place on Vulcanalia on August 27th is the opening scene for that movie. So what we have here is the Ark of Ana. This is the Arcana. So this top loop has 140 days. 1/4 is a signifier of the minor arcana, the smaller arc. And down here we have 220 days, indicating the master builder of the major arcana, the major arc of Ana, the arcs of the Ana Lema. So when you go through these dates, the equator, the equatorial line, you know that the first day above the equator is 322, and that is the skull and bones number. That is the spring equinox. That is a very powerful number. That's why it's used everywhere, not just by them. It was used even before. This is the day that the Pope put out a APB, a papal bull, against the Knights Templar in France, and Jacques Molay was immolated in front of the Notre Dame Cathedral. Also, Notre Dame burnt down on April 15th. So all these numbers are highly sacred and repeat throughout history for a very good reason. And then 923, that is the fall equinox, where we are declining through the year. And one more quick point, I just wanted to point out that, the 14 comes up oftentimes for a sacred number. 1 plus 4 is 5, the pentagram there. But 1-4 is sacred for many other reasons. 1-4 is the number of pads on the palm of your hand. Moses came down with 2 tablets. Tablets are math tables. These are little pads. These are the tables. He broke them in 2. And he had 14 and 14. That's 28. That's a month. You put your pads of your fingers together and you've got a little calendar. And the divinity of the Creator is made in the image of a man. And these are very deep and profound metaphors that are found in the Bible. So Ad is 14. AM is 14. Adam. That creates 28. Also, MA is 13 plus 1. That's 14. And MAN makes 14 and 14. Man creates 28, which is a moon. Just pointing out, this number 14 is very significant in the structure of our words. Eve adds to 14. Snake adds to 14. This is all ordinal gematria. And you add all of the characters of the Garden of Eden, and you get 56, which is the minor arcana, which was cast out of the garden. So these details are highly significant, highly symbolic. You probably will see them again. I'm going to read a quick list of events that have happened through history on April 15th, Tax Day. And all of these will indicate to you decapitation, the capture of your agency, sacrifice, cap, the goat. So John the Baptist was decapitated on August 29th, right there in that neighborhood of Vulcanalia. But first I want to read the April. The 100-year war ended in April. Pope Innocent refused the Jews at Cordova to build their synagogue on April 15th. Kublai is acclaimed as the Great Khan by the Mongol Great Council. I believe that Genghis Khan may be a bit of a John the Baptist archetype himself. Columbus meets Isabella I in Barcelona. Cortez means cut. Cortez von Tomar accepts Philip II as King of Portugal. King Louis goes to war against Spain. A dictionary of the English language was made, the very first dictionary, and that is how we think. That's the foundation of thought. Your cap. The Federal Army was mobilized for the Civil War by Abraham Lincoln on tax day. And guess what? Abraham Lincoln was shot in the head on tax day. Compulsory Education Day. Compulsory education was put into law on that day. The in Boston, we had the world's first telephone. Boston is Boss Town. With your capacitance, we got our first telephone put into place. GE, General Electric, mergers with Edison. GE is a G, which is the number 7 in Gematria. First baseball was ever thrown by a president on tax day. The Titanic was sunk on tax day. The first 1-hour helicopter flight was on April 15th. FDR was buried. That's the FDR is the father. Vader. Federal is fetters are shackles. Pope Pius VII published his Communium Interpretis Dolorum. Many popes published their books on that day. Jackie Robinson came into his role on that day. First McDonald's was released on that day. John Dulles resigned, decapitating of John the Baptist. John Dulles resigns. Great Britain's nuclear testing. The Challenger was moved to its launch pad on that day. And we all know what the Challenger's all about. The Beijing protest happened on that day. The final Jay Leno appearance. Jay, as in John the Baptist. The film Volcano was released on that day. And as our man James True pointed out, the Notre Dame Cathedral fire. Real quick, August 27th, Vulcanalia. Vulcan of Ana Lema. Vulcanalia. Pompeii happened. Napoleon beats the Austrians at the bottom of Dresden. We know what Dresden means. That place got blown up. Krakatoa volcano erupted on Vulcanalia. Spanish flu arrives in Boston in 1918. First TV program on BBC. BBC 223. The film Roman Holiday came out. Roman Holiday, that's Vulcanalia. First Guinness Book of World Records. One thing to point out, all firsts are sacrificial. They love to give their first fruit for the sacrifice. Nevada, nuclear test. Sputnik with the Sputnik 3 goes up with 2 dogs. Mary Poppins comes out. Reagan's Teacher in Space project. The Discovery 6 was launched. 2003, Mars got closer to Earth than ever. The closest approach in 60,000 years. Mars is a Vulcanalia reference. Nomination of Obama happened on Vulcanalia. So these strange little historical facts are contrived. They're written. They're made to seem natural and organic, but they are in fact inspired by man. This is man writing history, but the numbers are the framework that history is built upon, and it can be pretty beautiful when you know what you're looking at. It's just too bad that the people who are writing these stories don't act as divinely as the systems that they're trying to gain power through. That's all I got today, folks. I hope you enjoy, and everybody rest well. Much love. Strength.